25 years. The Doobie Brothers. Tom Johnston, Michael McDonald, Pat Simmons.
Back on the air now. We're back on Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. I used my phone for the camera, and somebody called me this morning while I'm on the air with you guys, and that knocked me off Facebook. So we're back. Okay. Here's the studio feed.
If you suffer from chronic pain, anxiety, insomnia, or many other chronic conditions, CBD oil may be right for you. I'm Dan Beebe, owner of Save Discount Drugs in Covington. Save Discount Drugs proudly offers a full line of Ananda Professional CBD products. Safe, natural, and 100% legal in Kentucky, Ananda CBD oils are a full-spectrum hemp extract from 100% U.S.-grown hemp. So stop by and see us for your CBD needs, or give us a call at 859-431-2857 to learn more about CBD. Save Discount Drugs also offers everyday low pricing on all of our prescription medications, and we can fill most prescriptions in 15 minutes or less. We have free parking behind our store with a convenient back entrance. Save Discount Drugs is located 4 doors north of the Madison Theater at 716 Madison Avenue in downtown Covington. That's Save Discount Drugs, 859-431-2857, or check us out online at savediscountdrugs.com.
You know, it's easy to turn your unwanted, broken, or unused gold and silver jewelry and coins into needed cash. Gold and silver class rings, wedding bands, and coin collections can all be turned into needed cash fast at Franklin Street Coin Company in Evendale. They are paying more because they buy more. Get the highest prices available fast at Franklin Street Coin Company, a proud sponsor of Ohio State sports. Go Buckeyes!
Dimples, dings, dents.
Dang it!
Dimples, dings, dents.
Dang it! There's just no way around it. Own a car and someday you'll need a body shop.
From minor touch-ups to major mess-ups, the name you need to remember is Mount Healthy Auto Body. 521-8600.
From dimples and dings to intensive care.
They'll take care of everything for you. Keep the name and the number handy. Mount Healthy Auto Body. 521-8600.
Get on. Let's rock the house.
Hey, thanks for listening, ladies and gentlemen. You'll be glad you did. I'm your host, Gary Rossignol with Remax Preferred Group, better known as Cincinnati's rock and roll realtor. And now, the moment we have been waiting for. This is A Moment with Myles. The captain of our ship, Myles Beersford, gives us his little tidbits of interesting topics and thoughts for everyday use. Good morning, Myles.
Hey, Gary, rock and roll, my friend. Speaking to the consumer this morning, please make sure that the agent you are dealing with fully explains that Ohio law protects you in the transaction. Whether you are listing, buying, or leasing property, a real estate agent can provide you with expertise and assistance. In some cases, the real estate agent will represent you as his or her client. In other instances, you may be working with the agent as a customer. In either event, the law protects buyers and sellers with required disclosures and forms prior to your purchase. The following disclosures are required in Ohio: the Consumer Guide to Agency Relationships, an agency disclosure statement, and the Residential Property Disclosure Form. Your agent should also present you with a lead-based paint disclosure, and if the agent is buying or selling a property for himself, he or she must disclose that they are a licensed real estate agent. And that's this morning's Moment with Myles.
That's good stuff, Myles. Thank you very much for clearing that up. You know, there's in today's seller market, there's a lot of folks trying to sell their house on their own.
They are.
And
save a few bucks.
They're for sale by owners. I had a closing yesterday with a couple. I met them about a month and a half or so ago, and they were trying to sell their house on their own. I met with them. I showed them what I could do. They had tried for about 3 or 4 weeks unsuccessfully. We put it on the market, and within a week we had it sold full price. We had the closing yesterday, and their mind was boggled through the whole process of all the little details that we did. They says, we had no clue. There's no way we could have done this.
That's right.
And they said, thank you. And I said, well, this is what we do.
That's exactly right.
And I represented them. In other words, I needed to follow their lawful instructions, be loyal to them, and promote their best interest. Higher level of service than what Myles mentioned. They could have been my customer, in which case I wouldn't be representing them.
Correct.
Your customers are customers.
Yes.
Yeah. But an attorney, an accountant, and a realtor represents their clients, and they have a client-agent relationship. There's a big difference there.
There is a big difference, and that's why we have the expertise of you.
Well, we try.
That's right.
And Mr. Myles Beersford, he is the captain of our ship, along with his lovely wife, Christine Beersford. They are the owners of RE/MAX Preferred Group, by the way, which is the largest RE/MAX brokerage in the state of Ohio. And I am so happy and proud to be a member of that fantastic group of agents. We'll have a short visit with Greg Vehr of the Dragonfly Foundation later on in the show. Next week, my guest is Dan Orner, owner of First Title Agency. We've got a lot of regular listeners each week, and I'm so happy and grateful for each and every one of you. Keep telling your friends to tune in. Like us on Facebook, too. And a big special to Carol Schilling in South Lebanon, Ohio, Richard Cox and Art Reed, Steve Zinzer, who are listening and watching on Facebook, and also all my realtor friends. We got a lot of people who are in my profession that like to listen and pick up some tidbits, especially. It's amazing how many times I meet with new potential clients, and I pull out the Consumer Guide to Agency Relationships that says, you've talked to several realtors. Have they explained this to you? They says, no, we never saw that before. Went, what? I mean, that's basic realtor 101.
Absolutely, yes.
You've got to do that first and foremost before you get into their personal information. You don't want that information in your head if you're not going to be representing them.
That's right.
So it's very important. The Rock and Roll Real Estate Hour is brought to you today by the musical insurance guy, Mr. Gary Rasmussen with Farmers Insurance, 513-445-5045. So, Gary, what are some of the more common winter home insurance claims? We're right in the middle of winter. We don't have all the snow we usually do, but things happen.
Well, frozen pipes are pretty common, but we haven't had too many of those this week, and really this winter at all. So what will happen is the pipe will become water, freezes inside the pipe. If it freezes hard enough, that expands, busts the pipe.
Yeah.
And when it finally thaws out, you got water everywhere.
Right. We'll pick up on that. We got a caller.
We do.
Yeah. Barbara, you're on line one. Good morning, Barbara. Thanks for calling in.
Oh, good morning. Excuse me. I had a question. What's it take to become an insurance agent? I mean, what do you have to go through? You got to go through schooling.
Well, there is a licensing that's
get a
required.
Degree?
No degree is required. The insurance, I technically have 5 insurance licenses right now, but
you're an overachiever.
The main ones are property and casualty licensing. That allows you to sell insurance like auto and home and commercial business insurance. A second set of licenses I have is life and health insurance. My agency represents all of these things. My health guys, I have health guys that do that expertise. My 5th license is a securities license called Series 6, and that's primarily for variable insurance, variable annuities. We can also do IRAs and 401ks and retirement savings and those kinds of things. But so to go back to the basic, your auto and home and business insurance, the 2 licenses are property and casualty. They are 2 licenses, but they are typically taught together and tested together. There are several schools around the area and online. The one we've used most recently is one called Hondros up in, they also do real estate licensing and accountants and nurses and things like that.
Right.
But insurance is one of those things. So they typically will have a class. You can do it online or you can do their class. You have to pass what they call the proctor exam with the school before you're allowed to take the state exam. The state exam is believe 120 questions, and they give you like an hour and a half to finish it, and you have to have about over 70%. I may not be accurate on the numbers, but I know you have to have over 70%, and then you have an insurance license.
There you go.
Does that kind of give you an idea?
Just take one class, or is it more than one class at Hondros?
Basically, it's one class for both property and casualty. They do it in various ways. The class, you can do it online, but the classroom one, the one we did most recently, they actually do over 2 weekends. It's a total of 40 hours of classroom time, and the way they schedule it was a Friday night, Saturday, and a Sunday on 2 weekends in a row. They got the 40 hours in, and at the end of that class, you're now certified to go take the test. They also give you all sorts of online, what they call practice exams, and you can take the exam with the school, and you just keep taking it over and over until you get a reasonable test score, and then you feel good about it, and you go take the real test.
Wow.
Huh.
And they tell you exactly where you need to study more when you take those tests.
All right. So you're going to get in the insurance business, Barbara?
Maybe. Thinking about switching. Just curious.
Well, I am always looking for
into what it takes to be.
I'm always looking for good people in my agency. I think maybe we need to talk.
There you go. Give Gary a call this week at 513-445-5045.
Okay, thank you. I'll check into this more.
Thanks for the question. All right. Bye-bye. There you go.
All right.
Wow.
Good question.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Hondros is a good school, and they've built themselves up. But with the real estate exam, you have to pass with an 80%.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a 3-hour exam. Yeah, it's major.
Now there is CE classes or continuing education classes required, and I believe the real estate is the exact same thing.
Yeah, we're supposed to take 30 hours every 3 years.
All right, and the insurance industry is 24 hours every 2 years, so we're actually a little bit higher on that. And one of those has to be ethics.
Same here. Yep, we got to do ethics every 3 years. So, wow, that was a good question. If anybody else is thinking about getting into the real estate business, hey, it's a good business, and you're always growing, and you're always looking for good people.
We are. Always keeping an eye out for good people to serve our customers better.
All right. Big question for you, Gary. We haven't had too much snow, but if we do and when we do, is it better to shovel or leave it for liability's sake?
I say common sense rules. And I've heard different stories in different parts of the country. Where I grew up in Fargo, North Dakota, they actually have a legal requirement to actually shovel the snow from your walk. Some would say, well, then somebody might slip, and if I didn't do it. For liability to kick in, generally you need to be seen as negligent. And if you're negligent in taking care of your walk, for example, and somebody slipped, you probably could be held liable. But that's for the lawyers to figure out.
Yeah, right.
We are here to protect you and help make sure that when those situations happen, you do have coverage for that.
Same way when, like if I have a listing, somebody's selling their house and it snows, I've had sellers say, well, we don't want to shovel the snow. It's going to make it icy. They're going to slip and fall on the ice. If someone were to slip and fall with or without the shovel snowed, it's on the homeowner, isn't it?
It is. And, in the case of our house, my wife has private music students coming up to the house all the time. So I try to always put a little salt out there and make sure it's safe.
How about as a realtor, someone gets hurt at your open house?
Well, that's what the lawyers are for, to figure that out. You have liability insurance yourself, right? So if you advocating something and that was a bad decision, you could be sued, correct?
Right.
Actually, anybody can sue anybody for anything.
Exactly.
Now, whether they collect or not is another story. This is why you have liability insurance. The homeowner has liability insurance. If somebody did fall and bad things happen, they're usually suing everybody they can find. The realtor, the owner, anybody else that might be tied to it.
Big questions here, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're picking up on some good information. If not, call Gary this week at 513-56. No, that's this number, 513-445-5045. And we need to go away for our next break. When we come back, I'm going to tantalize you with my music history, and then we're going to look forward to springtime.
All right. It is coming.
Yep. Right in the springtime. You're listening to the Rock and Roll Real Estate Hour on the official station for FC Cincinnati Soccer on WDJO 1480, now on FM 995 and 107.9.
Why rent when you can own with no money down? If you're looking to become a first-time homeowner in the Cincinnati or Northern Kentucky areas, or heck, even if you haven't owned a home in the past 3 years and are now looking to buy, you may be eligible to receive up to $15,000 in homeowners assistance towards closing costs, pre-closing expenses, or even your whole down payment. That's right, you can own your own home with no money down. Find out if you qualify. Call Gary at 513-777-2402. That's Gary at 513-777-2402.
Miss Lauryn Hill, live in concert. March 10th, 9 p.m., Taft Theater. You're just too good to be true. Miss Lauryn Hill, one night only. Let me tell you that everything is everything. Buy tickets at the Taft Theater box office or online at Ticketmaster.com. Produced by MEMI. Miss Lauryn Hill, live.
Hi, this is Mark Elliott from the WDJO Morning Show. I buy things online all the time. Books, clothes. Why not a car? So I thought I need a car. I started looking at used cars online, Craigslist and things like that. And then I thought, I don't know anything about cars. How do I know I'm not getting ripped off? So when I got this car, it had like a 7-day return. I immediately took it to John Nolan Auto Service. They looked it over from top to bottom. They checked everything, the tires, the transmission, all those words under the hood that I can't pronounce and know anything about. They gave me a complete list of what was wrong with the car. So I knew if it was the right deal or not. They really helped me out. And they'll do the same thing for you for just $59. It costs a lot more than that to get it inspected. But right now, for WDJO listeners only, so tell them you listen to WDJO, they'll do the inspection for you, whether you're buying a car from Craigslist or a dealer or anybody else. 859-291-8833. That's their number. They're in Newport. 859-291-8833. A $59 inspection of the car you want to buy, available now from John Nolan Auto Service.
Embers is a contemporary American steakhouse with a twist. Enjoy steaks, seafood, and sushi in a warm and inviting atmosphere. Embers evokes the warmth and comfort of a glowing fire, from the stone torch and gas lanterns outside to the fireplaces and glowing candles within. Wednesday is legendary half-price sushi night. Embers on Montgomery Road at Galbraith in Kenwood. Light up your night at Embers. Make your reservations at embersrestaurant.com.
Hey, Cincinnati. Rick and Noel here from Ultimate Air Shuttle. We are excited to announce our next destination, Nashville.
Beginning March 16th, Ultimate Air will offer the only nonstop flights from Cincinnati to Nashville for only $274 each way. 2 daily flights will be available Monday through Friday from Cincinnati's Lunken Airport to Nashville. Save 25% off a round-trip ticket or book your weekend getaway for only $199 each way.
The schedule is now open. Book now at ultimateairsshuttle.com.
Ultimate Air Shuttle flights are public charters sold and operated by Ultimate Jet Charters, LLC as director carrier.
I can't stop loving you.
You know what time it is. It's music history time. And this is what happened back in 1962 on this day. Ray Charles recorded I Can't Stop Loving You at the United Studios in Hollywood, California. The tune would go on to top both the US and the UK charts and would be included in the LP Modern Sounds and Country Western Music, which would lead the Billboard album chart for 14 weeks. Today in 1965, American singer and pianist Nat King Cole died of lung cancer. First hit was 1943, Straighten Up and Fly Right, and the 1955 U.S. #2 single, A Blossom Fell, and this, from 1957, the #2 single, When I Fall in Love, plus over 20 other top 40 singles. He is the father of singer Natalie Cole, and in 1956, he became the first black American to host a television variety show. What an iconic voice. Today in 1968, John and Cynthia Lennon, along with George and Patty Harrison, flew to India to study meditation with Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. Paul and Ringo joined them a few days later, but Starr would become bored and leave on March the 1st, comparing the experience to be like a bootland's holiday camp. Much of the Beatles' The White Album was written during their stay. Today in 1979, at the 21st Grammy Awards, the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack won Album of the Year, and the Bee Gees were named Best Pop Group and Best Arrangement for Voices for Staying Alive. Billy Joel's Just the Way You Are won Record and Song of the Year, and Donna Summer's Last Dance won 2 Grammys, Best Female R&B Vocal and Best R&B Song. Today in 1991, Kelly Emberg, the ex-girlfriend of Rod Stewart, filed a $25 million palimony suit in Los Angeles. The couple lived together from 1985 to 1990. Rod Stewart later said, instead of getting married again, I'm going to find a woman I don't like and just give her a house.
Wow.
Today in 2008, a flat once rented by the Beatles in London went up for sale for, get this, $2,284,000. The band shared the 3-bedroom top-floor property in Green Street, Mayfair, in the autumn of 1963. A publicity photo of the Fab Four peering over a banister used as the cover for the December 1963 edition of the Beatles book was taken at the top of the property's communal stairway. And today in 2013, Chubby Checker launched a $500,000 lawsuit against Hewlett-Packard for including an app on its phones and tablets that was not only named after the 71-year-old musician, but measured a man's manhood based on his shoe size.
Wow.
Here it is. In 2015, Mark Ronson's Uptown Funk reached the 1 million sales mark 10 weeks after it was first released, becoming the 158th track to reach the million mark in chart history. The song from the soundtrack of the 50 Shades of Grey film also became the most streamed track ever. And born on this day back in 1947, English musician John Hallowell, saxophonist with Supertramp, who had the 1979 U.S. number 6 single, The Logical Song. Hallowell also played on Pink Floyd's album, A Momentary Lapse of Reason. Oh, you've heard him many times. What a great sound.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We hope you found these bits of music history as interesting as I did when researching them to share with you this morning. And I'm called the Rock and Roll Realtor because I play with the greatest classic rock band, Bluestone Ivory. You can go to bluestoneivory.com for our full schedule. They will be added as I fill up the summer with gigs in your neighborhood. I don't know if you missed Valentine's Day yesterday, but if you just want to say hi, or I want to say I do, or you want to say happy anniversary, or happy birthday, or happy belated Valentine's Day, call Let's Flowers today at 513-921-0561. They really do deliver. And the Rock and Roll Real Estate Hour is brought to you today by the musical insurance guy, Gary Rasmussen, at 513-445-5045.
Our musicalinsuranceguy.com.
And we got the jingle.
We are farmers.
Bump, 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 bump.
Thank you.
Got to throw that in there. Springtime, we talked about winter, and now springtime is just right around the corner, Gary, and that brings rain and storms.
Of course, those can happen any time of year.
What should homeowners do to prepare?
Well, one of the things is to make sure that you have backup of sewer and drains coverage.
Ooh, good one.
So most home insurance policies...
Not everybody has that, do they?
That's right. So water has everything to do with where it comes from as to how it's covered. So if a pipe breaks in a wall, like we were talking about a few minutes ago from frozen pipe or something like that, the damage from that is typically covered by your regular homeowner's insurance.
Not the plumbing repair, though.
Right, exactly right. The repair itself, but the damage from it. Right.
Uh-huh.
But if water comes up through floor drains, that's not covered under any home insurance policy that I'm aware of. It's covered under this rider that's added called backup of sewer and drains coverage.
Mm-hmm.
Now, groundwater is another whole situation, but the backup of sewer and drains coverage around here, the common thing is that the sump pump will fail. So if you have a place that has a sump pump and when it rains, the sump pump runs, typically, you're vulnerable, especially if that space is finished. So there's all sorts of things you can do. You replace the sump pump regularly, you put a battery backup on it. There's new sump pumps out there that actually don't even run on power, so you're worried about that because it runs on water pressure.
Right.
But the typical scenario is you're out of town, the rip, snort, and storm comes through, the power goes out, maybe the battery backup worked and maybe it ran out, and the water came up because it didn't get pumped out, and now you have a mess.
Mm-hmm. I'll be showing 5 properties this afternoon with a buyer, and we're going to be in Montgomery and Madeira and Marymount, and I'll bet you probably, I think 3 of the 5 have finished basements. And you know what? I'm willing to bet none of them will have a backup system on their sump pump.
Well, up in 40, 50 years ago, like those are probably going to be homes like that, they didn't require sump pumps. I know that even 25 years ago in Mason, where my home is, the sump pump was required as a part of code. My 1970s home in Loveland did not have a sump pump. I ended up installing one because water was seeping up through the foundation.
But battery backups are not required.
No.
And for $250, you can contract through Lowe's or Home Depot and get the battery backup installed.
Yes, but even that has a finite time on it. So if you have a lot of rain and the power goes off long enough and you're not there to do something about it, it's still going to. But
yeah, right. So you better be right insured.
Yeah, so that's what we do, and we always talk about all those kinds of things. Your particular situation is that a situation where you need to be worried about?
Mm-hmm.
And if so, you need to have backup of sewer and drains coverage. I actually have a customer right now, happens to be a customer that we did not write the policy. It was written by another agent who, actually a couple of agents ago, and they became my customer earlier this year. We had not connected for a farmer's friendly review yet. And they did not have backup of sewer and drains coverage. And they had exactly what I just described happened earlier this week.
Wow.
And now they've got a mess.
Mm-hmm.
And there isn't any coverage for it because they didn't buy it.
And it's on them.
It is.
Wow.
And that's a sad situation. But I can't go back and figure out 2 agents ago what was explained or not. But knowing the agents, I'm reasonably sure that they were offered that and they were trying to save money. It was buying their first house. And money's tight. And we're trying to squeeze every corner we can. Those are the things that happen.
You get what you pay for, and cutting corners does not pay off in the long run.
So that's why we want you to be right insured at the very lowest cost possible. I can always give you cheaper. That's easily done. In fact, from a legal standpoint, there is no law that says you have to have home insurance. Did you know that?
Right, I know.
So if you have a bank,
only if you have a mortgage. Yeah.
Well, if you have and that's the bank calling the shots.
Right.
And really, all they care about is if you have insurance on the building for generally about as much as the loan. That's all they care about.
Right.
They could care less about liability, loss of use, your stuff, and
replacement
pages of other things.
Yeah,
that's right. So but that's fine. It covers the mortgage.
Now that's why people say, why do I have to buy $350,000 worth of insurance? My house, I only paid $225,000 for it.
But if you want a replacement cost policy, if something bad happens, and if you would say, well, I want a brand new one sitting there just like the one I had, what does it take to build a brand new one? Which is a whole lot more than what it takes to buy a used one.
Exactly.
But it comes down to what you want. If you don't want that, fine.
Yeah.
But we're passionate about helping you understand those options. So
I know you are. Some of my customers, they go, I was on the phone with Gary for 45 minutes. So that was a short conversation.
Well, a home is typically one of the largest assets of your life.
Exactly. Right.
So you want to just give me a few minutes to give me the cheapest price?
Here, initial here and sign here. Yeah, right. Here's a real helpful hint. And in fact, we mentioned this several weeks ago on the show. Walk around your house. The sun is out. I know it's cold, but look and make sure your garden hose is disconnected from your hose bib.
Absolutely. What happens if the water sits there? It's kind of like, because that's outside the house, it'll be just like you froze it, break the pipe, and then when it thaws,
right,
it's water everywhere.
And even if you have those frost-free or freeze-free hose bibs, guess what? You leave that hose connected. There's water in there. If it freezes up, then when the springtime comes and you turn that faucet on, your basement's going to fill up with water.
It does, yes. So the frost-free thing just puts the shutoff valve into the house a little ways.
Mm-hmm.
And generally it's far enough in so it shouldn't freeze.
Yeah.
But when you fill up the space in front of it,
right,
with because he left the hose on.
And this has happened to a client of mine. We had their house on the market. It got sold. They went away. They weren't living in the house. They were gone for the weekend. They came home and they found that the toilet on the second floor had a crack in it, and water was seeping for a whole weekend, filled up the bathroom, went down the steps, went through the floor, went through the kitchen, went down into the basement, flooded the house.
It happens.
Yeah, it was a mess.
Last time we had one of our customers had that, they woke up in the middle of the night when the ceiling of the floor below fell apart.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Exactly. Right. So you need to make sure you are insured right. Call Gary Rasmussen at 513-445-5045. We need to go away for our last break. Don't touch that dial. Next, we're going to have a little visit from Greg Vehr of the Dragonfly Foundation. You're listening to the Rock and Roll Real Estate Hour on the official station for FC Cincinnati Soccer on WDJO 1480, now FM 995 and 107.9.
Farmers Insurance knows that when you're in the car and that song comes on, ah, yes, that's the one. You have no choice but to pull out your imaginary drumsticks and smash those cymbals and stomp on that kick pedal, which unfortunately is the accelerator pedal. And we covered it. Talk to a farmer's agent who knows a thing or two because they've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Call me, Gary Rasmussen, at 513-445-5045 or musicalinsuranceguy.com.
Renfro Valley Entertainment Center presents the legendary B.J. Thomas.
Raindrops are falling on my head.
Saturday, April 18th. Tickets on sale now at renfrovalley.com. Don't miss your chance to see this American institution live in concert Saturday, April 18th at Renfro Valley Entertainment Center, just off I-75 south of Lexington.
Somebody done somebody.
B.J. Thomas in concert Saturday, April 18th. Tickets on sale now, renfrovalley.com.
Honey, I can't get this done. I'll have to call a plumber.
We'll make it Zinn's Plumbing. I've never heard anything but the best about them.
Why's that?
They're a long-time local family-owned firm that I know I can trust.
Zinn's Plumbing? Okay, I'll call them.
Zinn's Plumbing, can I help you?
Yes, I hope so. My wife gave me strict orders to call only you.
Well, we appreciate that. We do try to be the best plumbing firm in town, and we've been at it close to 40 years now.
Well, how do you charge? Do I get a shock when I see the bill?
With Zinn's Plumbing, you'll always know how much a job will cost before we start. We bill on a flat rate basis, not an inefficient hourly billing system.
How soon can I get service?
Usually on the same day. We work within a 2-hour time frame.
That sounds great. Zinn's Plumbing is great. Ask anyone who knows. Call them at 513-681-2501. 681-2501.
I'm not a big talker. I am a big doer. But sometimes the only way to solve the problem is to get on the horn and figure it out. So the only people I like talking to? Grainger. With knowledgeable product experts, ready with the answers to my toughest questions, calling Grainger is the one conversation I don't mind having. From machining and motor parts to valves and vacuum pumps. When it comes to solving my problems, Grainger's got my back. Call, click Grainger.com, or stop by to see for yourself. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Why rent when you can own with no money down? If you're looking to become a first-time homeowner in the Cincinnati or Northern Kentucky areas, or heck, even if you haven't owned a home in the past 3 years and are now looking to buy, you may be eligible to receive up to $15,000 in homeowners assistance towards closing costs, pre-closing expenses, or even your whole down payment. That's right, you can own your own home with no money down. Find out if you qualify. Call Gary at 513-777-2402. That's Gary at 513-777-2402.
Get on. Let's rock the house.
The house this morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Gary Rossignol with RE/MAX Preferred Group, better known as Cincinnati's Rock and Roll Realtor, hosting the one, the only musical insurance guy, Mr. Gary Rasmussen, this morning. Good morning. So the Dragonfly Foundation, they support pediatric cancer patients and their families by building a network that connects Dragonfly families to each other and the community, providing programs that enhance quality of life enhancing programs in partnership with the children's hospitals. And the life work that they do is absolutely miraculous. If you ever have the opportunity to see them in action, you will just tear up with joy and just being proud of being a human being for what they do to hold families together and bring comfort and joy to those who are in their darkest moments of their lives. And I'm so happy and proud to have a member of the Dragonfly Foundation come on the show every week. I like to dedicate this time to them so that they can bring their message of what they try to do and share the upcoming events and how to get in touch with them for your physical volunteers and your dollar volunteers. This is my friend, Mr. Greg Vehr. Hey, good morning, Greg. How are you today? Hello. Hello, Greg.
Maybe he's listening to the delay.
I don't know. No.
We're still clapping.
All right. Well, maybe he'll call back in. That was weird. I had a great introduction, too.
Great introduction. It was. And they do an absolutely amazing work. I was at their open house just a few weeks ago. And that building they got down there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's incredible.
Yeah. 405 Oak Street.
Right across from the Vernon Manor.
Right. It's a wonderful, wonderful organization. You know, when you're anywhere in the United States and your child gets sick and you go to the doctor with them and the doctor checks them and does tests and then they give you the ultimate bad news, you need to get your child to Children's Hospital in Cincinnati because I'm suspecting some cancer or blood disease and they need treatment like right now. You drop what you're doing. You pack very little stuff and you drive straight to Cincinnati to Children's Hospital.
Life immediately got turned upside down.
Oh, you leave a lot behind and you don't even know what you need when you get there. And that's what's so amazing. And I've interviewed many families of Dragonfly Foundation, and the one common denominator that they all say was a life-saving thing was that big blue bag that has just everything that you could imagine that you didn't have that you need, from the basic things like, hairbrush, toothbrush, battery chargers, cell phone adapters.
All those things you never would think of.
Yeah, exactly. That you need to get by from day to day. They'll put gas cards in there because when you get here, you got to travel back and forth from wherever you're staying. Do we have him on the air? All right. Should we try this introduction again? No, I'm just going to go right into, ladies and gentlemen, this is my friend, Mr. Greg Vehr.
Thank you. Thank you, Gary. Thanks for all you've done for Dragonfly. You can hear me okay now, right?
Yeah, we hear you. I gave you a glorious introduction a few minutes ago.
Thank you for that.
I can't repeat that one again. That was from the heart.
Well, I appreciate that. And I have some news for you, and I think your listeners will appreciate this. You have worked so hard in trying to promote our Dragonfly Gala. And we have been working hard, and it's our 10th gala. It's a celebration of the decade of the Dragonfly Foundation's existence, and we have the largest crowd ever coming to the Dragonfly Gala at Music Hall on February 22nd.
Wow.
So I just wanted to thank you for your efforts to promote what we do.
Not a seat left in the house, right?
Not a seat left, and that's good for the pediatric cancer patients and families that we support. That is our mission, and this is the big fundraiser of the year for us, and we are really appreciative to everyone who supports Dragonfly, whether it be $5, whether it be toys for children. We do so many things, and we're always looking for new ways to serve those families.
Right.
They are going to enter into one of the most challenging periods of their lives, and whatever we can do to help that journey go as well as it possibly can is what we're committed to.
And I know that my listening audience are intrigued by the fact that of that sold-out crowd, over half of them will have deep pockets and be coming to donate more and more money. But you know what, Greg? I keep telling folks, it's not so much the corporations that will give you the $10,000, the $15,000 donations, which will add up to, I know your goal every year is at least $100,000, but it's those little $5 donations that add up to make the biggest difference. And it's amazing what a $5 donation will do. And the Dragonfly Foundation only runs on donations. I mean, you're never going to have enough money to do the work that you do.
You're correct. And it is those 5, 10, 15, 20. They are very helpful to the organization. We have so many people who donate, and I don't have that number, but I do have a number of volunteers, and we have about 400 consistent volunteers and a whole lot of other people who are there to help us out when we need things. And I wish I could name them all, but it would take more than this show to go through that list of names. But we are so appreciative for those volunteers. And we do have one, and she was awarded and recognized at the gala last year. Her name is Mary Lou, and she is just the best. She handles all of our toys. She chronicles them and knows, puts it onto the computer and knows immediately whether or not we have the toys that we can provide to the children to make it just a little easier during their journey.
And I met Mary Lou at the open house, which was about a month or so ago, and she's a sweet lady, and she is so passionate. She gave me the whole tour of that room in the lower level of the new landing. So anyhow, but that's great. Mary Lou, hats off to you. If you want to get involved with the Dragonfly Foundation, just go to dragonfly.org. And on that website, you have all the opportunities to see and hear about the Dragonfly Foundation, how you can volunteer. And if you want to help them right now, ladies and gentlemen, just pick up your smartphone, text the word WINGS15 to 71777. Thank you very much, Greg, for coming on. We are just about out of time. We had a great show. I want to thank Gary Rasmussen,
thank you for having me,
musical insurance guy this morning. If you miss any of the shows, you can listen to them on the podcast at www.rockincincy.com. Don't forget, hug your kids, call your parents, and kiss your spouse every day. And tune in next week for Dan Orner, owner of the First Title Agency. Coming up next is Wesley Adams and the Car Tech Show. And this is Blue Sun Ivory's live recorded version of a song off the Beatles' White Album, Oobla Dee Oobla Da.
All right.
Oobla-dee, oobla-da, that goes on, that goes on. In a couple of years, they built a tall, sweet home. A couple of kids running in the yard, updating the Ronnie Joe. Happy ever after in the marketplace.
Call me, Gary Rossignol, at 513-777-2402 for your real estate needs. I want to help you. Here's a big thank you to my regular major sponsors who make this show possible, as well as RE/MAX Preferred Group. A special thanks to WDJO station manager Gary Stevens and my producer Dan Gettelfinger. Also a big thank you to my clients, friends, family, and fans of Blue Sun Ivory, of course Rhea Davidson with the Dragonfly Foundation, and especially my wife Mary Jo. Until next week, keep on knocking on my rockin' houses. So long for now.
The preceding program was a paid program. Its views and opinions expressed are not necessarily those of this station or its management.
The official radio station of FC Cincinnati.
WDJO Cincinnati.
Need oil? No problem. Visit Relodyne.com. Whether it's for your car, truck, or plane.